Alright, so here's a quick showcase of the single target DPS with a hidden invitation. And after this I will do a regular map. Wow, crazy loot. Alright. Now I will do just a map here real quick, show clear. So as you can see, the damage in clear is quite good, and I'm like incredibly tanky. I probably have around 4,000 recharge per second. Well, not recharge. So all of this build's energy shield recovery is from Leech, and I suppose Ghost Dance as well when you get hit. So if you don't hit anything, you have no regens. That's a big part of the build. That's kind of, I mean, it's not a real issue because you're pretty much always hitting something. And if you're not hitting something, you can scuff it with like a worm flask. I don't have one, but if you needed to for whatever reason. Okay, so I'll just talk about the build a bit. This isn't going to be like a real official guide or anything. Just because I don't really recommend doing this build on a non-budget, and if you're going to be doing this build, you probably know what you're doing enough that you can just look at a regular POB and follow it. So start off with, I would not recommend doing this build without an Ashes, so that's a pretty big baseline to even start the build. And then you also need a full set of energy shield gear. So I mean, you could do it as life base, but it'd be a different tree, and it would be you might as well be going Inquisitor at that point. So the trade-off between this and Inquisitor, to be honest, I'm not completely sold on going Trickster over Inquisitor. I think it's mainly just something different. Though I am probably tankier. I don't know. Damage is probably pretty similar for the amount of investment. you put into it. But this is just something different. And you get to go CI, which is really good for the infinite flask tech. You don't have to waste a flask on a life flask. And yeah, so long story short, it's just something different. I'd probably go Inquisitor if I were to make another Spark character. Yeah. So I'll show you my gear. My wand is really bad. My helmet is quite good. Shield is okay, I guess. I'd like to get a shield with some damage on it. But I need to make a better weapon first. Gloves are Algor Mortis. So what this does is it gives you sap in chilling areas, which is why I have Vortex on left click, is because of those gloves. So it'll sap and chill. What sap does is give you damage reduction. Enemies in your chilling area take 34% increased lightning damage, so this also increases your damage whenever someone is in your chill. Then increased effect of non-damaging elements, which will increase your chill, shock, and sap, giving you more damage and less damage taken. And it also has a decent amount of energy shield and evasion on it, which this is a energy shield evasion build, so it's a good base in general. And these are really cheap gloves, and you can corrupt them to get a good corruption. You get like +1 gems, and then you'd slot your auras in here. And then your Enlighten that you're using would also get a +1 from it. So the belt I'm using is a crystal belt. It's not really great. I need to recraft another one, but it gets the job done for now. So the main stats I'm looking for on this is the energy shield and the increased flash charges gained. I have another video explaining the flask tech, but basically use this trader keystone for brutal restraint. Leave one slot empty, and it gives you a bunch of flash charges, and with a few other passive nodes and things on your gear like this, you'll perma sustain your flasks. Alright. Boots are also pretty good. My chest piece is okay. I need to remake this. But basically you're just looking for big energy shield on your rares, and damage, if you can get it, on your shield. Enchant you want on your helmet is Spark +3 proj. If you don't have that, projectile speed and damage are both also pretty good enchants, so you can do that as well. Eldritch Implicits, these are the two best ones you want. Is physical damage from hits taken as chaos, since your CI are immune to chaos, is basically just pure physical damage reduction. Then cast speed. Here you want Wrath, increased orb effect for damage. I suppose you could also do haste. And then for Searing Exarch, I currently have increased effect of non-cursors from your skills. But what I plan to do is gain 2 flash charges every 3 seconds. Searing Exarch 1. And that'll allow me to drop the trader. And that also means you can run 5 flasks that will be permanent. So that would be nice. When I do that, the reason I'm not doing that right now is because it would be pretty expensive to do so in a hardcore trade. I don't know what it would be in softcore trade. Basically, the way you'd have to do that would be, I don't know the most cost efficient way, but it is the second from highest tier Eldritch mod, which means you can't get it with the currency, and the currency is extremely expensive. I think it's like a 1 in 50 chance to hit. And then you'd also need to use an Orb of Conflict, and win that 50-50, which will run quite a bit of currency, which I'm kind of low on right now, so I need to farm a little bit more to do that. And I'd also like to farm the other gear first, so trader is a very good baseline for it. My rings are also very important. You need Shav's Revelation, and you want it in the left ring slot. What this does is you cannot recharge or regenerate energy shield, but you get plus 300 to maximum ES, and it also gives you a bunch of mana regen. So it gives you like an insane amount of energy shield, as you can see there. Here we have Anathema. This is an insane ring for damage. It makes your curse limit equal to your max power charges. And then take +1 here, and that gives you a +4 curse setup, which is very good. Let me just do this real quick. I should be on D&D, but I don't care. So the +4 curses allows you to run Conductivity. You run it as Anomalous for the increased curse effect since we're running Ashes. And Feeble, Elemental Weakness, and then your other curse will be Sniper's Mark, which you will just self-cast. And then in your helmet, you also have Tornado. And then in your helmet, you craft Trigger Socket spells when you focus, and what it does is it will cast all these things, so you don't have to manually cast them, as you can see. And then with the focus, also have deal double damage while focused on the weapon. So you get a ton of damage from your focus. So about the Ashes, you're going to want to get basically as many alt quality things as you can, since they give you pretty good bonuses, and the Ashes buffs it a lot. So for example, Anomalous Conductivity. For increased curse, I just said that, but you can see it gets a lot of quality from it. Divergent Haste, Projectile Speed. Anomalous Discipline, increased damage on full energy shield, and there's a few others. Anomalous Blood and Sand is really good too. It gives you a ton of projectile speed. Divergent Inspiration, reduced mana cost. Divine Blessing and Wrath. So the way I'm able to use Wrath is from the flask things. Reduced mana cost of skills during the flask effect. And you take this wheel and 10% reduced mana cost of skills, and this also gives you, maybe it's not there, it might be up here. Reduced mana cost of skills while on full energy shield, and you can get it all the way down to 0 to cost. And then it is free to cast. So here's the tree. I'll obviously link a POB. I'll just go over the important parts here. You go Polymath, which gives you damage for each master you have, and a lot of regen on kill. One step ahead, freeze immunity here, and you can't be slowed, etc. Escape Artist, and then Soul Drinker. Soul Drinker is really huge. What this does is makes your life leech effects not removed when energy shield is filled, so it's basically like Slayer, and you have like overleech, so you're still leeching even at full HP, so the regen is instant, and that is a very good node. So I wouldn't swap to CI until you have this. Honestly, I'd wait till like level 90 to even swap to CI and just click the life nodes in the area instead. Just because when you have low CI, I don't like to swap to builds with like under 7k energy shields because it feels really bad to me. But you certainly could just make sure you have this node. So it's not a crit build, it is EO. So you don't need to invest in crit gear. This lightning damage with non-critical strikes is lucky. Mastery is incredibly powerful. So that allows you to not go crit. So it is CI build, and then you go Ghost Reaver, and you leech energy shield instead of life, and you take these leech nodes, and you want the increase maximum total energy shield per second. And then I think everything else is self-explanatory for that. Pantheons, I'm currently using Lunaris and Ralakash. If you don't have any stun immunity, I have some. You get it on your flask. I need to roll a better flask, but that's my flask for now. You can roll up to 60%. And then you get 25% here. And then you could get the last from like a jewel or something. But if you don't have any stun immunity, click Brian King. And I also have Ralakash because bleeding is really scary and I don't like to bleed. There's like incredibly OP bleeds in this game. So I click this, even though I could probably regen through it, but sometimes there's scenarios where you get like a 10k per second bleed on you and it's really crazy. This also helps with corrupting blood. I don't have CB immunity. I don't have blood on my flask, or bleed immunity on my flask, because I have no life flask, and the bleed immunity on utility flask is really bad, so that helps with that. It makes it a non-issue. Honestly, it's not even an issue without it, but yeah. So while bossing, I would probably swap to Solaris. Yeah. And I'm also using Grand Spectrums. So I have the plus Frenzy charge and I have the plus Endurance charge. And when I get rid of this, when I get the +3 flasks every 2 seconds or whatever it is on the chest piece, I drop this jewel and swap it to another endurance charge, and I would probably do either ailment avoidance or just elemental damage. There's no need to do power charges when you're a non-crit build, so I don't need that one. And I think that's about it. Bandits, you will kill all. My relic is just lightning damage and avoid ailments. I'd like to get the lightning damage can freeze one, but it's obviously quite rare. In Sanctums, the build does quite good, because you hit the entire room with your sparks. So it's pretty good for that as well. You can do all content, pretty much anything you want in the game. It can do Ubers. If you look up Kunagi on YouTube, he has some Uber showcases of the build, and you can see how far your single target can scale. His gear is much better than mine. Mine is not that good. His weapon is probably like 5C in softcore trade, so you can scale the damage really high on this. I think that is everything. Yep. That's about it.